Welcome to another 164 custom diecast video. In this video I wanted to show how I reassemble these cars and a couple different things that I do, and really the reason why I really enjoy just taking them apart, because you can detail the interior pieces of the car. So let me show you this Mustang I have over here that I've already started to put back together. So I have the back window in, which is one piece with the side windows. I have this windshield and the passenger side window in, and the dash piece. It's already in, and it's already glued and hardened in place. So I'll show you how I do that in a second, but that's already done. The next thing I do is I have these pieces here. So I have the rims, I have this bottom piece, and I have this with the seat and interior pieces there. Floorboard and shifter and all that, window net. So basically, you saw how I kind of detail it. Just get these lined up, and I have this here, and you see the little holes on the bottom, and I'll take my Tester's clear cement, and let's see, you can either put it on these studs like this, or you can put it in those holes. Either way, I kind of go back and forth, and then just once the tires are in place, just kind of push it back together like so, and then I'll just let that sit over here, and once that dries, then I'm ready to put that together using the JB Weld. These cars here have already been sitting there, so they're ready for the JB Weld. And these cars here are ready to be detailed on the inside. And so I'll do just a little bit here real quick. I usually start with the gray. And on these black interiors, which are becoming more popular, I kind of go around the shifter here, and I'm really trying to give it some color, right? Just some contrast, and just trying to make it a little bit different. Obviously, the interior of the car is actually, gray, and then you have your seat, which is, varying colors or whatever material, but when they come out with the all black interior here, I just try to give it some color, and I like to use the gray for that. So I usually put this gray up here on top of this little platform that's behind the seat, like so. I also take this piece here, the dash, and I'll go across this raised area over here, ever so careful, trying to just kind of touch that up there. Probably seen me do this before, but maybe it's been a while. And then I get that gray like that. And then I use my gloss red I've already kind of got it flowing here. There's no fire extinguisher, so what I do is I take this and I just go across the top of this box here, as if that's where the fire extinguisher is. And then there's this line here, raised area that I think is related to the fire suppression system in the car. And so I paint it red. Just kind of dabbing it. Sometimes I get too much and it runs over. But that's working out pretty good right there. Just do that. And once this dries, I'll put a little white for the shifter knob, and then that's it. That's all I do for that particular piece. And once this dries, I'll do a little bit of red here, a little bit of red on that. And I still have to do this bottom, which is relatively easy. Just a little time consuming, the different colors and things that I put on it. But for this, so that particular piece already comes with the black around the windshield, but I like to go around the other window piece here. And this gloss black works well. Just like that. And I kind of just prop it up there. And the back here is a little bit more challenging. A little bit more space to do around these windows. And I'm really just kind of doing the sides for the most part. And then I want to connect this here. This is going to be a Blaney car, so I don't need to paint over top of the Blaney name. I want to keep that the way it is. If it was like a, if it wasn't the right name of the actual car I was going to make, then I'd probably paint over it just so it doesn't seep through and be shown. And I just kind of go around here. Yeah, and I just kind of prop it up like that and let it dry. So that's just a little bit how I do that. So I've got this car over here. This is going to be a Ryan Blaney 2020 Mustang Sylvania car. And so looking at the decal set, I wanted to pre-paint these areas here black before I put it all back together again. So that looks pretty good. It's been drying, and now I'm ready to put the pieces in. So I kind of fan this out a little bit. I want it to spread out. And this is the first piece I put in. And the way I just do it is I kind of tilt it and get that passenger side in. I'm sorry, that's the driver's side. Driver's side window through, and then get it over this little rivet and shove it in. I say this a lot, but it's a good reminder. I just washed my hands with Dawn soap because in this phase I'm handling the car quite a bit, and my fingers have to be 100% clean. No oils on it, no lotion, nothing. So they're kind of dry, but I don't want anything getting on this car, on these windows in any way. Okay, so let's put the windshield in. Got some stuff on the windshield here. Not sure where that came from. You can see there's like a couple dots right there. Alright, I'm not going to fuss over it right now. I might not be able to do anything about that, but alright, so I want to get that side window in first, and then it goes into place. That was pretty simple. Not going to get much easier than that. Alright, so now here comes the glue. I'm going to put some glue around here, just a little bit up here. I'm going to keep that there. And then just a little bit over here. Whoops, I got a little bit more than I wanted. But that's okay. As long as it runs down and not sideways, that's good. And then I just put a little bit across the top of that stud, because now I'm going to put in the dash and the steering wheel. You can see how I paint that with the red on top of the gray once the gray dries. Alright, so now just kind of hold it like this, get it in place, and yeah, sometimes it snaps in, sometimes it just lays in there like that one. Alright, and then I do a little bit of glue on the top all the way across these little spots there, and that is ready to go. So I usually take my bottle over here, turn it sideways, and I set the car on it like so. So it kind of dries. Alright, now let's put this together. You can see how I put the white on the shifter knob there. Fold those in, get those in their little holes, and then I just kind of squeeze it a little bit, because when I took this apart, or the car apart, I spread this open in order to detail the interior pieces here. But now I want these to fold in nicely, so kind of just have to hold them for, I don't know, 15-20 seconds or so, and kind of get them, you know, back into position where they need to be. So alright, and this time I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these holes. Don't want to go crazy, just enough. They don't put any glue on them. And this piece is ready to go. A lot of times I'll put a little bit of the clear sealer, especially along the black area, because as I handle the car, the black will kind of rub off, and I like to get a little bit of the clear sealer on there. I'm looking and see if I put some on there. I don't think I have, so I'll have to do that a little bit later. And get these tires over here. If I'm doing any painting of the tires, which in this case I did, I painted those with the fluorescent yellow. They were yellow. Basically what I did was I took the yellow rims here, swapped them over to this car, got the white rims off of this one and put them over here, because that's going to be a white rimmed car. Doing a lot of white rimmed cars, but yeah, the fluorescent yellow looks pretty good on that. And then just kind of drop this thing in place, and here I'm just going to set this on top of there like so, and that's how that goes together, like that. And I'll just let that sit, usually let that sit for a couple hours so the glue is fully dry. It says it dries in an hour, but I usually let it dry for 2 hours or so, just to make sure it's set or more, and then I'll be able to do the JB weld. So here in a couple hours I'll be able to do JB weld for that one to put the car all back together again. This one and this one, I'll do 3. A lot of times when I do the JB weld, I get too much of the mixture, and so I usually like to do it for, you know, 2, 3, 4 cars sometimes at a time, so I can mix that stuff up. And yeah, I like working multiple cars at a time. I mean, right now I've got these 3. I'm just prepping that one. These 3, so that's really 6 if you want to count that other one, 7. And then here I've got one back here that I have JB weld on. It's been there for quite a few hours, so it's probably ready to go. JB weld will set in like 4 to 6 hours and then cure in like 24 hours, so I'll just let that set there. And this is the same thing, it's been sitting here for a couple hours, so I'll just let that flip that over and let that sit there. That was glued. So, another, 5 cars here. So I've got, 11, 12 cars going all around the same time. Let me show you just a little bit of what's going on here with these. So this is going to be a Michael McDowell Daytona win car. I'm going to decal it, and then I'm going to look at the pictures and try to get a little bit of the effects of what his car looked like when it crossed the finish line. I know he had some silver tape here in this area and a little bit up here. I'm just going to look at it closely and see if I can kind of match it up to make it look more authentic to what was across the finish line. This white one here is going to be a Chase Briscoe iRacing car, and of course this is going to be a Matt Kenseth flag car. This is the hood and trunk open. I'm doing it with the black pearl metallic per request, and this is actually, I had done a video earlier and it didn't turn out very well, so I just deleted it, and I was showing you how I put this all together, and it's really a pain because these plastic pieces, this car is a 2001, so it's 20 years old, and the plastic just isn't it just doesn't stay together like it used to. It's very flimsy, so you have to be super careful with it. But anyways, and I'm seeing this pop out, so that's why I'm kind of grabbing it and pushing it in. You have to put in this this back piece here, and then you've got this side and this side window, and then you have this as one big piece here that holds the hood in place so it can swing open, as well as the windshield, and it kind of comes back here. And then you have this plastic piece here, gray plastic, that holds the trunk in place, so the trunk can kind of swing open a little bit. And so this was glued. I'll probably put a little bit of the JB Weld across here and a little bit across these little spots here to hold it, just make sure that they're held in place, as well as some here. But that car is on its way to being done for Mr. MH. And so that's just kind of sitting and resting up there. And then I have this 2015 Ryan Blaney Ppg. I was looking at the pictures a little closely. I've got to do white across the bottom. I already have a little bit there. And the roof lines are actually blue. So I'm going to get my blue out and run it across here. And it actually goes all the way down. I may just put it across the roof and leave it there, here and here. But yeah, that's not going to be easy. I should have done it before I decaled this stuff. But, live and learn on some of these things. On the Trump 2020 truck, Tim Vaines, I went ahead and just painted this black. I was looking at it. It's actually kind of star blue, or blue with the white stars, but there's not enough decals to go around, so I just went ahead and painted it black across the front. But I've said this before, this truck's relatively easy to make. Sure, it's a little complicated in this area here with the headlights and this bumper coming over and meeting this side piece, and you have to trim around and kind of piece things in piecemeal. But the spoiler is probably the hardest thing. It's 2 decals that you have to position just right, and to get it to cover the top and the sides. So you kind of have to raise it up just a little bit on the back so that it can get full coverage across that area. But, I'm pretty happy with this car, or with this truck. It's turned out pretty well. Just about done, just putting some clear sealer on it, and probably put some X22 on it. I'll touch up some hood pins because they're not there now, and that'll be a wrap. I picked up this, well, now you can probably see a little scented candle. My daughter is into those things, and she likes to burn them in her room. Well, she has a handful of them, and she's like, Dad, I really don't want these anymore. And she's going to throw them out. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll take one in the basement and see what it's like. So it's kind of nice. It changes the aroma down here a little bit. But I picked this car up, and wanted to thank WH. He had, Mr. WH, he had gifted me a PayPal card. And just to let you know, Mr. WH, it worked out good. Thank you. I was able to get that working, no problem. But I picked up this 2003 Matt Kenseth Alka-Seltzer Plus car. Of course, I'm going to use it as a donor car. I'm going to tear it apart. And so I'm going to do a 2003, one of Matt's, I was going to say Xfinity. It wasn't even nationwide. It was the Busch Series back then. And so I'll do one of his rare 2003 Busch Series cars with that donor car. So thanks, Mr. WH. That was nice. That was really nice of you. Alrighty. I think for the last few minutes of this video, I'm gonna do an update to some of the decals that I still have for sale. And I'll just kind of go through them quickly so you guys can see what I have that some people have asked about and are interested in seeing. So we'll start with my Nationwide Xfinity. No, I'm sorry. These are my Cup ones. I'm sorry. These are my Cup ones. So I'm just going to run through this relatively quickly. I'll turn this down a little bit. I won't even say anything. I'll just kind of walk through it, right? You can see what I got. Okay, maybe I'm too close. And these are all ones that I have that I'll be willing to part for $3 a piece. Actually, there may be some that I won't part with, but let me know what you're looking for. Might only be able to go through the Cup ones. Yeah, there's a few of these Kenseth ones I probably won't sell. These 2011s. Yeah, I'll do another video, or actually in my next video I'll show my Busch Nationwide and Xfinity ones, because there's no way I'll be able to get through all of these and that other stack with what I have. Some beautiful ones. And if you notice, these are in kind of chronological order. These, I'm in 2015 now. Looks like I need to speed it up, so I'm going to get through all of these. '17s. Again, not sure I'm going to part with some of these Kenseth ones. I've got too many Kenseth fans that like to buy those, so I'm kind of saving them for when they request them. Yeah, no way I'm getting rid of that Sirius. That's one of my favorite cars. Kenseth Sirius from 2017. Same with that one. Some Blaney ones here. Alright, down to the last minute. No, not selling that one. Kurt Busch is pretty popular too. And my Kenseth 2020s are not going to be sold either, because they're pretty popular. Maybe some of these Ryan Blaney ones will go. Nope, not selling the Trump 2021. Alright, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful to you. I'll do the other ones in the next video. Have a great night. We will talk to you soon. God bless. Take care.